So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are located in our beautiful planet. I think we're having a beautiful webinar today about strategy. But before strategy, I just want to make sure that I am audible and you can see me and you can hear me. Dr. Mohammed, you can see me and you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Excellent. So, I think it's a special moment where we can have uh, distinguished guests or panelists to speak about such a subject as we speak now. But before we move to our speakers in today's discussion, I just want to make sure that to reflect on a strategy. And I remember many of our board meeting, whenever we walk in the board meeting, so there's two schools. Sometimes they start with the financials, and instead of 30 minutes allocated, it takes 2 hours of the entire board meeting because of the challenge in the financials. Or they start with the strategy. And then whenever I attended the strategy first and I know the numbers, I see a complete disconnect between whatever strategy decided for the company versus the numbers. Strategy about expansion, strategy about customer penetration, strategy about investment behind our marketing, strategy behind our growing our brands, growing our company, growing our portfolio. And then whenever you know the numbers bottom up and your heart, you know that you're struggling to achieve even the target. You have gross margin gaps. You have big hits that no one is aware of except you. You didn't get the chance to brief anyone before that meeting as well. So the disconnect between strategy and the financials, I think it's a common theme everywhere, which makes it a little bit interesting and appealing in that sense. And then I start to ask this question: why the people that don't know number bottom of their heart, they cannot translate the strategy, the numbers into a strategy at the end of the day? So, or either they will be shy away, just present the numbers as is and put the bomb on the table so everyone can jump in as a starting point, or they will take the brave heart and speak the strategy in that sense. And it's a rare moment to find someone that can know the numbers bottom up. We call it the top of mind, as we can see, regardless of the slide, and at the same time can translate these numbers and correlate the numbers into strategy. So I think today we have a very diverse guest. I hope I got your enough attention to speak about the disconnect and connect between the numbers in our organization and strategy. And this is applicable everywhere, as you can see. And I'm part of the school of first introducing myself, and I give the space. No one ever on this planet can introduce you better than yourself. So I'll give the space for everyone to introduce, and then I'll come back at the end of the day. So let's start from the top right on my screen, at least. Mr. Ammar, please go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, and good evening, everybody. I am Ammar Alshehri. I have almost 10 years of experience in government and semi-government entities in Saudi Arabia. I've earned my CSCA certificate on May 2026. Also, I'm holding a CMA since 2021. I'm glad and honored to participate in this webinar alongside my distinguished colleagues, and we hope we will add value to the audience tonight, inshallah.
Inshallah. Ammar, great to have you. And we're going to rely on the connect between the actual work that you have in your field in Saudi Arabia and what kind of CSCA contributed to your daily work as connecting the numbers with the strategy and driving the strategy in the company as well. So good to have you as well, Ammar. Welcome on board. So I'll go to my second guest on my screen, not everyone's screen, because it might have different order. Dr. Mohamed, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mahmoud, and hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Mohamed ELROUBY. I'm a global finance, FP&A, and strategy leader. I have more than 24 years of experience at global organizations. I handled multiple international senior roles across Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, Latam, Europe, and Asia. Actually, I'm very passionate about FP&A, very passionate about strategy, and I'm sure we're going to learn a lot today during this amazing webinar. I'm the CEO at HOFT Academy and also Senior Vice President FP&A and Strategy at United Pharmacy. And I'm certified CSCA for sure, and also certified FP&A from US, certified CIFPA from France. And also I hold the doctor's degree in finance and how to use AI in finance as well. So looking forward to this amazing webinar.
I think, Dr. Mohamed, because I work with you closely, you got to know, because you work on FP&A like no tomorrow, you're the most obsession person I've seen in my life about the FP&A and ex-FP&A in the world. And this impacted your personality. You expect the next move every time. So you see what's behind the number, what's behind the market as well. So you're always one step ahead because the job itself affected your personality as a starting way. So welcome aboard, Dr. Mohamed. Good to have you.
Thank you, Mahmoud. Thank you very much.
So I'll go to my extreme right, which is Rima. Miss Rima, please go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. I'm honored to join this session. I have worked for my experience spans over 28 years in the construction industry, all my experience in the construction industry. And I have managed several projects from different sizes and different sectors. And I hold the CMA and the CSCA. I obtained my CSCA on May 2023, and I'm really interested in obtaining more and more knowledge in strategy and financial planning and analysis. I have a bachelor degree from University of Jordan in business administration and economics.
Yeah, so Rima, welcome aboard.
And I hope, as my colleague mentioned, we hope we add value to this session.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, and I'm super proud and happy to have you, Rima, on board.
Thank you so much.
An amazing experience. I'm not gonna repeat again the number of years, just for confidentiality. I know the session is recorded, but this is so well extended experience that can contribute to everyone. Pleasure to have you, Ms. Rima.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, in my screen, Ms. Isabelle.
Hi, Mahmoud. Hi, everyone. Good evening to all. I'm Isabelle. I'm actually the CFO at DSV Global Logistics for Abu Dhabi offices. It's the global leader in transport and logistics in the world. I have experience in the industry of logistics and the IT previously, having dealt with markets across the Middle East, Africa, and Eastern Europe. I'm a CSCA since 2022. And I hope that in today's session, we will be giving you some good insights and some good motivation for you as well to pursue such an interesting certificate.
Excellent, Isabelle. Good to have you as well, Isabelle. Pleasure having you as well.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. And the best for the last, let's say that. Mr. Ahmad, over to you.
I wouldn't say the best for the last. I would say one of the panelists. But thank you so much, Mahmoud. And I mean, it is great to be on this webinar with seasoned professionals, Dr. Rima, Mr. Ammar, Ms. Isabelle, and Dr. Mohamed Kamin. It's utmost pleasure. My name is Ahmad Mkhallati, Senior Director at the IMA Middle East. The IMA also stands for the Association of Accountants and Financial Professionals in Business. A little bit background about myself. I graduated from California State University, Sacramento. That was a long time ago. I worked in the States for a lot of years before I decided to go back to the Middle East, and I joined a multinational training institute for almost 10 years. Then I decided to move on to the association, and I selected the IMA to join them. I joined them back in 2014. What I do at the IMA, I manage partners relations throughout the Middle East and North Africa, focusing on enhanced qualifications of accountants and financial professionals in business, and also keeping the community in accounting and finance engaged with the events, workshops, and on webinars. This is briefly about me.
I think what you miss, Ahmed, highlighting, you're brilliant in building communities. We've seen many board directors coming to the IMA in the Middle East, and I've never seen someone that building communities. So Rima, I'll just quote your construction experience. It's building not a one-time building, it's building community across all the Middle East. I've seen how the IMA is super active in every forum, and you go personally to each forum to make sure that people know and connect and work and collaborate together. So thank you so much for this. I've participated in many, And I've seen how much you're keen about building the communities more than anything else. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Mahmoud. We won't be able to do it without the support of our community and IMA members and your good selves on this webinar. Thank you.
Of course, it's always two-way streets. But again, the leadership as well set the example. So really appreciate it. Keep doing this, building more and more communities, Mr. Ahmed, on that front.
Thank you.
So before we jump, just quick update about me. Mahmoud Reda or Reda is short and unique a little bit. If we call Mahmoud, we get many people will respond back. I've been in the FMCG industry for the last 17 years so far. 15 out of them, or 14 out of them, mainly in finance, still being as head of finance for one of the regions. And now I'm moving into planning, which is connecting the dots, the entire planning, integrated planning in the FMCG industry. You know, from the voice, from the way, from the speak, I'm a podcaster as well. I have so many podcasts published with 1 million views online. I'm part of HOFT instructor team. So we give beautiful and amazing AI courses, which is advanced AI for finance, that is well known now and start to grow massively in the region. So this is simply about me, and let's kick off. I think we are 11 minutes, which is sharp on time for a quick introduction and getting people around. We have 70 amazing people online now listening to us. So let's make sure the coming 45 minutes, we really inject value in every single minute to the entire audience that we're having. So at least it's a win-win for everyone, for us as a panelist as well, discussing and sharing different opinions, and for the our audience and people listening to us online as well. Okay. So I'll start from Mr. Ahmed, related to the IMA, which is a very prestigious organization globally and in the Middle East as well. So you see, first of all, we see IMAs moving very strongly on the strategy direction, as you can see, and without letting go the core responsibility or the core responsibility when it comes to the profession of the accounting and the management accounting and the different certificate and qualification that we have in the IMA. How do you correlate the move of IMA into strategy and putting such an investment and such a content and such a training in the strategy? How do you define the move of the IMA into the strategy in general?
Thank you, Mahmoud. Briefly, I mean, one of the strongest advantages of earning a credential from the Institute of Management Accountants is the credibility. You know, the credibility that you get in certification from a global association. So it has the global recognition that comes with it. As we all know, I mean, the IMA has been serving the accounting and finance profession for more than 100 years. And today it supports a global community of over 125,000 members across more than 150 countries. That scale matters because it means the standards behind the IMA certification aren't regional or limited to one market. They are shaped by global business expectations, employer needs, and evolving accounting and finance roles across the industry. So the certification itself, we're talking about the IMA CSCA, is not territory specific. It's a global certification. Now, for business leaders, we know that this recognition goes beyond the qualification itself. It signals a commitment to professional excellence, ethical leadership, continuous development. It also reassures employers and stakeholders that the individual has been developed against internationally benchmarked competencies. So the IMA has always been closely aligned with how the finance profession evolves. Over the years, we have seen a clear shift. Finance professionals are no longer expected to report performance, but to actively shape it by supporting strategy, transformation, and long-term value creation. This is exactly where the CSCA, the Certified in Strategy and Competitive Analysis, comes into play. The CSCA was introduced by the IMA to address a growing gap in the professional. And this is like, once again, I mean, our mission is to enhance qualifications of accountants and financial professionals in business. While many accounting and finance professionals are highly skilled in technical and analytical areas, few of them have been formally trained in structured strategic thinking, competitive analysis, and strategy execution. So the CSCA was designed to bridge that gap. It helps professionals understand how strategy is formed, how competitive advantage is built and sustained, and how organizations translate strategic intent into execution and measurable outcomes. So what also makes the CSCA practically irrelevant today in that strategy is no longer reserved for the C-suite alone. It's not for the CEO, it's not only for the CFO. Finance leaders are now expected to sit at the table where they make the big decision, where strategic decisions are made. So whether that's around market expansion, digital transformation, investment prioritization, or risk and resilient planning. So in that context, the CSA is not just a technical addition, it's a leadership development credential. It equips professionals with structured framework to analyze industries, evaluate strategic options, contribute meaningfully to decision-making at the highest level. At the same time, the IMA Middle East is proud to partner with HOFT Academy to bring the CSCA to professionals in the region through a structured live online platform experience. This is the first live instructor-led CSCA program. We extend our appreciation and gratitude to the visionary of Dr. Mohamed ELROUBY for this partnership that ensures that candidates are not only preparing for an exam, but also developing real strategic thinking capability through HOFT practical and engaging teaching methodologies. Because we believe that approach goes beyond memorization. It focuses on application, helping professionals build confidence in using strategic framework, analyzing real-world scenarios, and preparing effectively for both exam success and workplace impact.
Yeah. So too many questions in my head, and I want to give the for the rest. Time is flying. I'll just draw them. No need to answer now, Mr. Ahmed. Just keep in mind. One is 70%. There is a statistic I'll share on the chat. 70% of the CEOs think that their threat is their CFOs because they know the numbers and they are more involved in the strategy. I see the smiles from Rima and Isabelle and Ammar. So that's one thing. Does this correlate on investing more in finance professional and in strategy? This is one on a side, not now. The other one that I cannot hold myself to ask and hold it for some time. Were this the chronological event or chronological thinking or logical step due to AI impact for the finance professional when it comes to the operation technicalities, where AI is less strong as we speak now at this stage when it comes to strategy? So this is the normal evolution of the finance profession to move from the technicalities into strategy. These two questions, I'm just gonna drop them on the air for now. But for the sake of the time, I'll just go to our list of these speakers, but keep them in mind, Mr. Ahmed, where we can come back to you on these 2 points. Dr. Mohamed, why you partner with IMA on the strategy? Simple question.
That's a very simple question and also have a very comprehensive answer. Actually, in HOFT Academy, we believe in focus. Where we don't, provide training for everyone and for every specialties. We believe in only 3 pillars that are mainly our focus. Number 1, finance. We are providing very niche, training programs in finance, like certified financial planning and analysis, CIFPA. We provide certified CFO, so we are focusing on the finance area. The second pillar, which is strategy. Strategy is one of our second and most important pillars, which is strategy. And we was thinking, what is the best strategy training program we have to provide to our community? So after, deep searching, we found that CSA is the best for many reasons. Number 1, partnership with one of the best, finance institutes globally, which is the IMA, is one of the, most credible, institute across the globe. This is one definitely reason. Second reason is CSA is very, very practical certificates. I attended many, strategy programs across, different, institutes and during my career, and I found CSA is really, really comprehensive, really practical, really focused on what matters, and strategy is about focus. So it's really focused on what matters. We are not just studying many areas. No, focus on exactly what everyone needs to learn strategy. And number 3, as you said, Mahmoud, now finance are having some challenges because of the technology, because of the AI. AI now is doing most of the technicalities part of the finance people. So what left for finance people is definitely our leadership skills, our soft skills, and our strategy, right? We have to learn strategy, because when we sit in the boardroom or we sit with the leadership team, we have to contribute in different strategic decisions, right? As an FP&A or as a CFO, I have to support my CEO and be a co-pilot for any strategic decision. We need to, we have a merger and acquisition project. We have a geographical expansion project. We have to divest one of our categories. So many strategic decisions CFO should contribute in. So we have to learn strategy for sure. And what left for finance people is definitely strategy, our business partnering skills, and also definitely our finance knowledge. But now AI, I believe, doing 60 or 70% of our finance jobs. So what left for us is really strategic decision making, strategic partnerships. So I'm very confident and very happy that collaboration between HOFT Academy and IMA will add too much value to the finance community and even non-finance community, the strategist communities, because learning strategy is not only for finance, for sure, or it's not only for strategy. If I'm a marketeer, I have to learn strategy. If I'm a salesperson, I have to learn strategy. If I'm HR, I have to learn strategy. So I believe strategy is a core skill for most of the business profession. That's why we launched this amazing certificate.
Yeah, so Dr. Mohamed, you drive a very good example that you try the certificate yourself on your own. You don't believe the brochure. You don't believe the marketing headlines or AI generated content. You did take the course yourself, and then you decided that this is much more valuable. This is what first. The second one, because we have almost 80 people on the webinar now, it's really important for people, whether new joiner, student, or even mid-level career finance professional, you have to be strong in the core as a skill as well. Because what we've seen in the AI, that even if you're not strong in the core, you can correlate, Dr. Mohamed, that this is a very strong certificate because you have seen the entire core process during your career, entire your life. So this is how we can correlate that this can help to take your thinking strategy to the next level, and how we can influence more the numbers rather than speaking. If you don't have the foundation, the base, it will not be as strong as we speak now. This is similar to Mr. Mohamed Ahmed highlighted that in addition to the qualification of the finance, that we still IMA holding the trophy for that. They started to move to the next step to make sure that we move to the next logical event after we have the strong foundation as we speak now. Now let's go to some. So we finished the part related to the partnership, and of course, I'm not surprised whether you, Dr. Mohamed, or Mr. Ahmed, about building the strong partnership. This is how we can evolve and learn and grow together. I've seen you, both of you, saying the same word many times on the stage. We have to grow together. But let's go to Ms. Rima now. So Ms. Rima, you fall in love with the CSCA, and with the X number of years, again, I'm not going to repeat the years, experience, how we can correlate a tangible thing, an actual thing that you took out of the certificate that you applied next day when you open your laptop in the board meeting.
Actually, let's say, briefly, tell you why I enrolled in the CSCA. Actually, throughout my career, I always believed that our role, as Ahmed and Dr. Mohamed said, is beyond the traditional. And I always believed in this. It's beyond the traditional role of only reporting and historical data. And for that reason, and I put this into practice with my team and cross-functional teams, actually. And I used always to act as a strategic business partner. So when I read about more about the CSCA after, of course, having my CMA, I found it strongly aligned with my professional goals of continuously in developing new perspectives and strengthening strategic skills and strategic mindset. Actually, it enhances, it gives you greater, yani CSCA gives you greater confidence, and it gives you, as I said, more confidence and enhances your skills. And it is a transition from the regular role. Even after years of experience, you get to know more and more. Yani, digging into this, yani when you sit on the table, you are differentiated with the CSCA. When you even interview some for jobs, you are differentiated. You are distinguished with this certification, and really I felt the difference after obtaining the CSCA. Dealing with things, confirming and reinforcing the idea that a strategy is very critical and important for every company, even the startup. If you are a middle size, a small size, big corporations, it's not only for big corporation. It is required, and it should be. It should be there in every company. And as you also mentioned, with the technology and the quick and the technological advancement and the AI revolution, I name it the AI revolution, we need to be upskilled. We need to have strategic mindset to be on the decision-making table. And actually, CSCA added big value to my knowledge and my experience.
Yeah, great to hear, Rima. Very, very good perspective. Thank you so much for that. I just want to go to Isabelle. Am I pronouncing the name correctly? Isabelle, right?
Isabelle, yeah.
Isabelle. So Isabelle, what's unique about your career? And this is something I admire because I'm doing the same now. You are moving tracks. You move tracks between technology and finance, and now you have the CFO track. So you have all the weapons. You have the technology hat, you have the CFO hat, you have the numbers hat as we speak now. Why did you decide to go for a strategy, and how it's contributed to your daily work? Giving all the hats you have in your belt already, you have enough, skills in your belt as we speak now since you moved tracks.
Yeah. So technically, Reda, if you think of the CSCA, when it was launched back in 2017. And that's not just because it's a newly certificate, but it just gives me the comfort that there is a global organization like IMA that's thinking as fast as the market is changing and is introducing certificates that actually adapt to the current market. So when I completed my CMA back in 2018, I was working as a senior finance leader also in a global organization, but there was something that still lacks. Though I had all the skills that you have mentioned, but there was a piece of that pie that still lacks, and it is mandatory for us to grow and to become on the C-suite and on the table of the board and the strategic decision makers. And this is where the CSCA has come into the light. So when I actually went through the CSCA and I have seen the frameworks and the tools that will equip me, I can understand that this is actually what I need to grow faster and to grow where I desire to be. So today as a CFO, I can be comfortably saying that the CSCA has given me all the skills that is actually helping me in my day-to-day, and is actually something that is really required for all the CFOs in the current market, since the CFO position or the CFO role is drastically evolving in our current day-to-day. If I look at the UAE market or even the GCC market, we work in an environment that is very fast-moving, very highly competitive, that is heavily impacted by global trends such as digitalization, AI, as all my colleagues have already said, the global trades, the oil prices, the geopolitical tension that we have seen for the past 3 months. And eventually we know that in some cases we need to step back and think how, as a CFO, I can be thinking strategically, trying to anticipate the risks that I am having inside the market and be able to drive the organization into all these uncertainties. So looking into my CSCA, I can say that the frameworks that are already being provided helps eventually navigate all these uncertainties and assess the right decision making that will help you guide the organization long-term direction. Eventually, that was exactly why I took this certification. And I can say very comfortably that even though you are on the C-level position, even though that you have all these skills that you have already, maybe, or you have built throughout your career, I am pretty sure that the CSCA will give you a little bit of more flavor, a little bit of more value added that you can still use in your day-to-day.
Very clear, very clear. You've mentioned the framework. I'll come back to the framework. I'll just need to go to Ammar. Ammar, you know, Saudi for me has a special place in my heart. It's my second home. I've lived in Saudi for 6 years in Jeddah. And I have so many friends, very close friends, that used to work on the private sector. And when a time I was moving around from Saudi, they moved to the government. And when I speak with them now, they say it's a completely different story. The pressure, the demand, the transformation, because the entire country toward a specific vision, a specific direction is moving full speed ahead to achieve what really decided for the government and for the kingdom as we speak now. Question for you, strategy connection for the government work, does it touch the base more than the private sector, or it is the same? How you can correlate strategy to the government sector in any government?
Thank you, Mahmoud. Actually, nowadays the government change the way it sees or it aims or it builds its goals. Since 2016 up to 2025, Saudi Arabia government has built 10 programs that will support the transformation or Vision 2030. From 2026 up to 2030, some up to 2035. There is a different story. The whole government changed the direction to a strategic perspective. There is sectorial strategies, there is regional strategies, and the government will only set the pillars, and government entities, semi-government entities, and also the private sector. All of them will be participating in this strategy to achieve the goals. If I may go to the next level is the government entities. And also the private sector. We saw, for example, PIF has announced its strategy. There is some semi-government entities has their own strategies. There is government entities, for example, the tourism strategy, the logistic and transportation strategy, the mining strategy. We have too many strategies. The government sectors, it is their responsibility to put the initiatives, the measurements, and build the capabilities to achieve these strategies. If I go to the next level, each government entity now has to change, has to adapt to this change of direction. If you don't have the capabilities, for example, I remember in 2016 or 17, there was only in each government entity, if we find a department called the strategy department. Nowadays, this will not work anymore, because everyone in each entity should understand what is the strategy, how we will implement this strategy, how we will measure this strategy, and to focus on the finance leaders. As Mr. Ahmed mentioned, it is no more about just reporting what happened in the past. You have to participate in the future, making scenario analysis, working on different source of funding, reporting on the effects of a future event or expected future event, risk management. All this knowledge have to be adopted by the finance and have to be participated by the finance leaders. The finance team in each government also needs to understand how these strategies has been built, what are the goals, how we will achieve these goals. Now, from my perspective, I am different before the CSCA and after the CSCA, because the CSCA gave me a deep knowledge on how you build strategy, what tools you use to in the strategic analysis, and what is the measurement you use, how to report on this measurement, etc. So I feel like now the government has gained a very good or outstanding experience in developing strategies and implementing strategies.
Very clear, Ammar. And you've seen any forums in Saudi government, it's all about strategy, as you said. So now strategy across all the board. And it's not contradicting strategy. All different ministry and BIF strategy, they are all connected to the total vision of the kingdom in the same direction, which is an amazing thing to see there.
Even the private sector,
Even the private
Mr.
sector,
Mahmoud, yes, private sector is very important. Their participation in achieving these strategies is very important.
Yeah, I agree. So even in the FMCG industry, big retailers in Saudi, for example, without naming them, I've seen them joining exactly in the same direction of the strategy. I agree. And that's the beauty of transformation, the entire country, that everyone is important, the private sector, public sector, semi-government entities and government entities as well at the same time. So very good perspective, Ammar, for that. I just want to make sure that for the 70 people with us online, please feel free to post your questions. We're going to have at least 15 minutes at the end if you have any question for our panelists. So feel free to ask all your questions on the chat. We're going to make sure to cover as much as we can during the time now. Now, Mr. Ahmed, I have a tricky question for you, and I have to say it's a tricky question, okay, ahead of the question. Away from the two questions I left on the air, one important question here. If I am already senior level at my career, for example, which one should I start with? Qualification during now? Or I know all of them are IMA products, and all of them are amazing and of course add contribution huge value. But which one should I start with? CSCA or any other IMA core qualifications?
Thank you very much, Mahmoud. I mean, you opened up the way for me to introduce all the professional certifications and the IMA, which is great. I mean, like if we're talking about professional certification, I mean, beside the CSCA, we have introduced a couple of years back the FMAA, which is the Financial Managerial and Accounting Associate. Basically, this is like an entry-level professional certification that is suitable for university students or those that they have no accounting or finance background and they are involved in planning, budgeting, irrespective of where they work. They work in the marketing department or the human resources department or operation department, but they are engaged in budgeting and planning. So we have the FMAA. Moving up the ladder is the CMA, the Certified Management Accountant, and we're talking about deeper dive into managerial accounting in a way that the CMA sets the benchmark for those that would be considered business strategic partners that will help the upper management basically with decision making. And moving up the ladder is the CSCA as well, but that doesn't mean that the CSCA you have to be a CMA in order to get the CSCA. It depends where you're at, what is your career growth. I mean, the CSCA is good to start with, or the CMA certification itself. And that's why when it comes to the CSCA, we made it very flexible. I mean, you don't have to be a CMA. The eligible requirement is a bachelor degree with 2 years of experience, or if you are a holder of any professional certification, let it be SOCPA, LACPA, CMA, or CFA, CIA, CPA, and CSCA, you're ready to go for the CSCA. Yeah.
Very, very clear. And just one follow-up question on that. And CSCA for finance professional only or for business leader in general?
Absolutely, for business leaders. It's not for financial professionals and accountants only. No, it's for business leaders. I mean, it's at the pace when it comes to setting the strategy and having those competitive analytical skills. So I wouldn't say this is only applicable to finance people, not at all.
Very clear, very clear. Okay, so Dr. Mohamed, we're going to go back to your beautiful domain, the one that you admire the most. There is someone 10 years ago told me that you start your FP&A or your operational plan not from the numbers, you start from the market share, which is completely number away from the P&L. You know, of course, market share will be translated as a target market share. I mean, it will be translated into sell in or sell out, and then sell in, and then you have operation, and then from there you can start your building your financial model as a plan, as a starting point. So, and that was triggered in my head 10 years ago, like very, very long time ago, that we're finance people. Give me the volume. We just need to cash it up and do the scenario planning and make sure that all the accounting and the rules in terms of controls are followed. In that case, why should I get involved in the market share? And then once we practice this in actual business case, we figure out that we are doing the part of the strategic planning to connect the numbers with the market reality and the market share. And we have the upper hand in the board meeting as well with other gurus of marketeer and sales people and supply chain and HR people in the same meeting as a starting point. Now back to you when it comes to the FP&A and strategic planning, how we can correlate the CSCA with the strategic FP&A direction.
Thank you, Mahmoud. I believe you raised a very good point that some people has a perception that finance only involved in the finance part. You know, I attended many, discussions and many even, training programs by non-finance people. And most of them say that, no, finance only handling the financial KPIs, the financial numbers, the financial strategic, targets. But this is not the only role of the finance. Finance, and especially FP&A, is involved in every single step in the strategic planning. And as you said, when we build any strategic planning, right, we have to do what? Situational analysis, right? I have to say where I stand or where our company stands, right? I have to analyze, as you said, our competition. I have to analyze even our country, right, or our region, right? How can I put a strategy without, considering all the geopolitical situations and all the economic situation and the technology, many external factors, right? Who's gonna make this analysis? Who's gonna make competitive analysis? Who's gonna download all the financial statements of our competitors and making a competitive analysis, right? So finance and FP&A has a very strong role in the first, step of any strategic planning, which is a situation analysis, right? SWOT analysis, financial capabilities, many things, right? Then moving to the strategic directions. Shall we invest in that product, or shall we invest in geographical expansion, or shall we invest in a new acquisitions? All of these strategic decisions. Who's gonna calculate the financial impact of this strategic decision, right? Who's gonna make a BCG analysis and calculating the profitability of each category? Who's gonna calculate the NPV and IRR and the ROI for any strategic project? Also FP&A and finance, right? Again, in the third step, when we agree on the strategy and start executing strategy, right? Who's gonna compare the actual results versus the strategic KPIs? Who's gonna build the dashboards? Also finance and FP&A. So you see FP&A is involved in every single step in the strategic planning, situation analysis, strategy formulation, and also performance management and strategy execution. So finance has a core, job in the strategic plan.
Very, very clear. I fully agree and echo that, Dr. Mohamed. I'll just move to Rima because time is flying quickly now. So Rima, I have confession for you. For any qualification or any certificate, there is like a curve in terms of the learning. There is one subject that you use the most every single day, you remember by heart in any qualification, and there is outliers. Important, of course. You face them once or twice in your career. You have to cover them. Definitely, it is required, but it's not as big as the bell curve, as you know, in terms of bell curve. If you're gonna pick up only one outcome of the CSCA that use as the top of the bell curve that you use very frequently on a daily basis, what will it be?
Strategy implementation. And I found it the cornerstone because many companies actually fail because of unsuccessful implementation of their strategy. They assign resources from capital funds and human, and then they fail because they don't have they don't communicate actually the strategy with all levels of the management or management levels or even the operation. To me is the most important thing of the CSCA is the implementing strategy and communicating with every single person, cross-functional teams is very important. In addition to other functions, because if you don't have a clear understanding of the strategy and you do not have the tone at the top and the clear communication with the company, you cannot implement it and you cannot have a successful strategy. So to me, the implementing strategy, having a risk framework is very important, especially when you are at the top management level. You deal with the headlines, you deal with the mitigating risk and implementing the governance framework of the company. I believe this is what is more important to me.
Very clear.
Yes.
Very clear.
Yes.
It with me as well when it comes to communication.
Yes.
I've seen many failed the strategy, and it's failed not because of the strategy itself. The strategy, the direction, the model, the direction, the ability, the resources are all available. It only lacks communication. And in this case, it was a strategy communicated only to the board meeting. It was not widely communicated to every single person in the organization to believe in the strategy. I know exactly which direction we're heading. So I agree. Yeah. So Isabelle, model and framework are chasing you again because you mentioned the models and framework. So we're going to go back to the models and framework, back to you. We are finance people, we love models as well. This is part of our day-to-day job as well. Now, how you can see the strategic planning and the CSCA provided framework and models affected your strategic planning in the finance area as well?
I believe that finance nowadays are the strategic architect of the strategy, right? They are the one responsible to make sure that the strategy is financially sound, is operationally effective or viable, and it serves the long-term value for the company. For example, in my case, I always seen that I'm the no person in the company, but that's not because I'm the no person in the company, but because finance are someone that needs to challenge the ambitions and all the high ambitions that the CEO might comes in, or the board might comes in, or even any director in the company might comes in. And to be able to do that, the CFO must be able to think strategically and eventually be able to assess the potentials or the ambitions or the ideas that might comes in a right way and in a way that is backed up by data, backed up by a scientific tool, and in an organized manner to be able to build a decision that is not only built on intuition, but is actually backed by numbers and by market analysis. In my day-to-day, to be honest, I really use the scenario plannings, which is something that the if scenarios or the multiple scenarios, especially with the recent events, to be really honest, that has become a very major one. I can say on a weekly basis, I have multiple scenario analysis to be done. The market has been disrupted. Companies are trying to survive, are trying to find new ways to be able to sustain. And this is where the CFO and the strategic analysis comes in, where we will need to be able to quickly analyze what's going on, be able to build our strategy around it, find the strength and the weaknesses that we have, and like the SWOT analysis, for example, and be able to build and help the CEO or the board or anyone that is in the decision-making of the company be able to understand the environment that we work in and build the decision fast. That's very important. And in the right way to be able to gain the market and be able to preserve our market share. I know for a fact many companies had faced this problem. So much of companies lost their market share, lost their competitive advantage in the market because they were not able to adapt as fast and try to understand what's going on in the market, and they came very late in the value chain. Another one which we are actually, I can say that I've been working on recently is the value chain analysis. With all the cost challenges, the profitability challenges that everyone in the GCC, I believe, is facing nowadays, we are required as a company to look into all our supply chain, our value chain creation, and try to see where are the inefficiencies and be able to find the synergies. And this is where the value chain analysis from the CSCA will help equip any person with the right mindset and the right tools to be able to guide that process in the right way and be able to land the company in the right direction and be able to create a long-term sustainable operation, not only a temporary solution for the current market. So this is very important, I believe. Scenario analysis, value chain analysis, you name it, everything that might come. You might, in some cases, even use another analysis, like if you are entering a new markets, there are multiple tools that you can use. It's not, as you said earlier to Rima, it might not be something that you deal with on day-to-day business, but as you might face, we have faced so much of uncertainties in the past month, and eventually we should be able to know what needs to be done to be able to drive the company in the right way.
Yeah, so I agree, Isabelle. Two points to highlight here. For anyone in the business operation, there is some tips and tricks, legal tips and tricks. Mr. Ahmed, don't quote me for that, okay? Where you can achieve 1 year target, 1 quarter target, legally, no wrong in that. And we know the tips and tricks. Isabelle, I'm sure we're a very seasoning finance professional know exactly what I mean by saying that. But strategy is your passport for sustainable, profitable growth. Yes. Because this is how we can keep the momentum of the business quarter in, quarter out, year in, year out, half in, half out, and so on in that case. So it is your passport for the board meeting to make sure that even if you're staying in the role for 1 quarter, 1 year, 2 years, whatever extended amount of extended time, you ensure that you leave a legacy business that continue in the same direction, strategy growing in that sense. And that's where I fully echo what you're saying when it comes to sustainable growth, especially with the VUCA, pure VUCA environment that we're working in. We have to think not only to achieve a sudden gain now, we have to look at the long-term horizon in terms of strategy as well. Fully aligned on what you said. So, Mr. Ammar, just one last question for you. Just correlate, same question, but if you can correlate without, of course, disclosing any confidential information or details of the numbers or the case, but can you just correlate a case study or something that you implemented post having the CSCA in your industry, in your field, as an actual thing that we can correlate? Because we're left only with 8 minutes, and I want to...
Actually, especially in the government sector, the ecosystem is different than a separate company. But usually it differs when we report the progress we are in now. So sometimes we report progress reports that give the center of the government a very on-time picture that will allow them to make a very fast decision. So these types of reports, I would say, if we don't understand the strategy process, what is the implementation impacts of this strategy, we couldn't raise like this reports that would affect a strategy on a whole country, not only a company. Also, I just mentioned the reports because the types of reports it differs. It is sometimes progress reports about what is actually accomplished in comparing what we were planning. This is about the past, and sometimes what we are heading in the future, about what the source of funding is available and what alternatives we have. Is it debt, for example? Is it government-to-government collaboration? Is it PIF source of funding or whatever? So the strategic thinking is different from entity to entity, depends on the capabilities they have and the opportunities they have and the limits. Yeah.
Very clear, aligned. And this difference is required by design, it's not by chance, because every entity, every person need to play his or her role on the overall strategy, of course, and they need to challenge each other. I keep saying that in any organization, and Isabelle, I hope you correlate, same as you, Rima, as well. Finance are invented to challenge the status quo. They should be no one person. I agree with you, Isabelle, you're not alone in this. We're all in the same bucket, don't worry. on that. You're no one person because you need to challenge everyone. Now, for our strategy for this webinar, we need to land the time effectively. So there is last 5 minutes. I only have one question. It's an elephant in the room, Mr. Ahmed. I just want to bring it here for our audience. There is a kind of resistance in the finance professional industry that the minute they hear the word strategy, it rings the bell as a trauma in their head that we're going to lose money in general, you know? You say, why we're making this investment? In one of the board meetings, they say it's a strategy, it's a strategic direction. And this is the old days, I mean. They never get involved on the building up the strategy. They just get a cascade of the strategy. Rima, I'm sure in the construction industry as well, we have to go to this battle because it's a strategy. But you are the one holding the number. You know exactly, you have your heart beating in every single investment decision in the future as well. How can we, as a change management, CSCA can correlate and change the finance wrong perceptions? Not all of them, of course, some of finance people, wrong perception about the word strategy and turning them off when it comes to expansion, growth, be even playful as well with some investment and go and try the market and get the learning for the company. You get my question, Mr. Ahmed?
I believe so. I would answer that saying that you know, as mentioned before, the business world is changing rapidly. You know, with the technology, the AI, customer expectations, economic uncertainty, new business models are shaping every industry. So organization really need the professionals who can look beyond the numbers and hide and help guide decisions through strategy. So, you know, many professionals believe a strategy is something that they will learn once they become a big position or a title. In reality, the professionals who reach those positions are usually the one who started building those capabilities much earlier in their career. So therefore, I mean, strategy became like, you know, a milestone when it comes to driving the business performance within organization. I mean, the esteemed panelists on this call explained a little bit how strategy plays a very important role in companies, especially nowadays with what is happening in the region and the type of uncertainty. So. Did I answer your question, Mahmoud?
I think yes, I agree in what you're saying. I know it's a tricky question. I just want to lean on Rima, for example, or Dr. Mohamed, these two. Have you ever faced in one of your board meeting a direction from your CEO that we have to make this investment, and then you ask why we're making this investment, and the answer is because that's the strategy.
Yes.
Can you correlate in one real life example? I just want to make sure that we give an authentic real life example in the real world. And that's the strength of the CSCA, Mr. Ahmed, that's changing the perception. And now when we receive the word, it's a strategy. Now after we take this qualification, you'll be fully equipped to speak and challenge and understand. And before in the old days, we used to receive that, okay, that's the strategy. And that's the board decision meeting. You see what I'm saying, Dr. Mohamed and Rima, in that point?
Yeah, definitely. You raised a very, very well-known, discussions, especially in the boardroom, when finance people has a short-term view for some, key decisions. Because, as we said, if finance people don't understand really strategy, they will struggle in making any strategic decisions. Why? Because you're always looking at what is the impact on our current P&L, what would happen in our quarter 2 performance, what will happen in our quarter 3. So they're always having a short-term, view. But once they learn strategies, they know something. No, it's not only about this year. It's not about the next year. It's about achieving our 5 years strategy. It's about achieving, our long-term goals. It's about building sustainable, profitable growth. I always say it like that. Don't say profitability this year. No, sustainable, profitable growth. This is something very, very important, because growth without profitable, if it's not profitable, definitely it will, consume the cash of any company, right? And also profit without having a growth, you will, stuck in your current situation, right? So this is something finance always should look at it. At the same time, also, especially this discussion always happening, especially with the marketing people, right? And finance don't like, no, why are you spending this marketing campaign? What is the ROI of it? There is no impact on sales because you look at only on the short term. But building a brand, building a marketing position, having a differentiator, this is also about your long-term sustainable, customer loyalty. It's about building a very good, brand to keep and to protect your business for a long time. So this is the areas that finance can develop once they learn and get a very good knowledge in strategy, like studying CSA or learning something like that.
Yeah. Rima, any quick reflection, or your reviews, Dr. Mohamed?
I just want to add on Ahmad and Dr. Mohamed that the CSCA equips you with the skills that put you in a solid position with the top management and the board. And when you submit your proof of the validity or invalidity of the proposal or of the investment or the decision, this will give you let's say a strong position. You will be in a strong position, and you will feel it. You will feel it. You added more knowledge and more skills to your let's say practical experience, and this will give you a position in front of the top management and the board of director. Actually, and this is the main issue and the main point of the CSCA and the outcome. It's really you will feel the change, even with your thinking and the outcome. Even the reporting and the way you report and analyze and submit your recommendations in a different way than before having this certification. And I really I'm telling you what really happened, because you will deal with things in a different way.
Yeah.
And
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Mahmoud. Just if you allow us to extend for another 5 minutes, because we received some question from the audience, and people, are very keen to get answered also.
I'll do that. I mean, the retention is very high. The 60 or 70 people still online with us, which is great. As one of the benchmark of any webinar, that the people came in, they are staying with us till this moment. Aligned, only 5 minutes, because I am the moderator. I have to be judged by the time we're over, right? Just one reflection, Rima, in your point before we go to the 2 questions. I remember one of the podcast episodes with John Sanai. He highlighted that companies were like very big flight Boeing. They keep improving margin, sustainable growth, but sometimes they need a fighter jet to go and conquer the future and see what exactly behind the clouds, and then come back, show the direction for the companies. It was a very eye-opener for me as one of the direction whenever we go and invest behind something there, just to conquer and explore and see what's behind the cloud in the future. Now, back to the questions from the audience. So there is one specific question for Isabelle. I'll keep it for the last. And Mr. Ahmed is highlighting, how do you see AI changing the strategic planning? Very good question, Ahmed. If we see that AI is not impacting, I mean, has a side effect or an impact to the core operational finance functionality as we speak now, do you think AI as well is changing and impacting the strategic planning process in the coming period? Open for everyone to answer.
Yeah, I can jump in this one because this question came to a key project that I'm working on using also AI in strategic planning. Actually, we use AI in different areas in strategic planning. Right? Number one, when we build our competitive analysis and making any kind of research, and I believe, Mahmoud, you are expert also in AI, there are many tools you can use to make a very deep research analysis. So number one, you can use AI in many types of analysis. Even once you gather the data for your competition, your industry, whatever, AI can help you also to summarize it, to analyze it, to give you views, give you insights. So from the situation analysis perspective, for sure, AI can help you. Number two, for strategic choice. When I have shall I invest here or there? Shall I invest in Saudi Arabia or invest in Oman? Shall I invest in this product or that product? Definitely, I also can help you, as Isabelle said, in scenario planning, right? So I can use definitely AI in this kind of decision. Number 3, I use it even myself. AI can help us to suggest the right KPIs for the right objectives. Sometimes I have objectives, right? I need to achieve market share, X amount market share. I need to achieve, that strategic goals. I need to achieve, employee satisfaction. But what should be the right KPIs to measure that, objectives? What is the relevant and most relevant KPIs? Also, AI can help you to suggest and giving you options of what are the KPIs that you can use to relevant to that objectives. Number 5, it can automate all the dashboards related to performance management, right? When I compare actual versus strategic KPIs, for sure, AI can help me to automate all the dashboard and KPIs. So you can see how AI can help you with every single step in strategic planning.
Very nice. Aligned. If I can just echo what you're saying, Dr. Mohamed, AI at this stage, because we don't know the future in the coming few weeks, in the coming few months as we speak now, can shrink the operational time required in terms of data gathering, building, construct, but it will never create at this stage as well a strategy for a specific industry, a specific company as we speak now. But you are now well equipped with some digital arm that in your work with the strategy, you can have a technical assistant, if I may say, as an AI that can gather data, do a benchmarking, judge, and then you are the one in the driving seat in that case. And that's where I see it in terms of AI impact on the strategic planning. Isabelle, audience are so fascinated by changing lanes where you did. So I believe you saw the question, different hats working in different roles. How do you apply the strategic skills in digital transformation? Because you have the digital and the IT hat and the finance hat, which required more and more these days as well as we speak. So I believe you saw the question. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So technically, it's important to just clarify that the strategy can be one for the company, but every department might have a separate strategy that eventually serves the entire strategy of the organization. And this is where the finance strategy might comes into place, because finance might have the digital transformation as part of their strategy and goals that they need to achieve within this year or within the next 3 to 5 years. Actually, I did have this, and eventually I think that's the new trend in every company, not only in our case or in my previous cases as well. So it is important first not to be afraid of the digital transformation or of the new tools that is actually being accessible to all of us. I think we should be looking into it into a positive way and try to see how we can optimize and work more efficiently with all these new technologies that is being offered, I would say, to the finance and even to any function within the organization. I can give you a simple example in my organization, where previously we used to have an AP function that is used to handle the data entries and the supplier invoices processing. And now we just moved it to a digital platform where the invoices are automatically interfaced or automatically integrated into our system, ERP system, and everything is moved throughout the IT infrastructure. First of all, I can remember at the beginning, back in 2018, when my team heard about this project, they were very afraid, because eventually that meant for them that they are losing their job. But today, the same team remains in the company. No one actually lost his job, but eventually their role has been more meaningful, I would say. Instead of just losing time and adding these invoices on the system, they are actually taking that time and creating more value to the organization by validating the information, making trend analysis, tracking spent by supplier, analyzing where is the sources, and try to find out more efficiency and more value creation to the organization. So embrace the digital transformation. Don't be afraid of it. Instead, try to understand how it works and try to see where we can take benefit of it and try to see where we can add value to it, rather than just be afraid of it and try to push back. Embrace the change, embrace that transformation, and be willing to be open to it and be willing to work with these technologies to serve the organization and the overall value creation.
I think that's a beautiful closing, Isabelle, for our discussion. Embrace the change. I know we're 9 minutes post the time, but I think it's worth it for the same 60, 70 people with us today. I would just want to make sure that before we close, Ammar, beautiful discussion on how the government entities and semi-government and private sector are contributing to overall strategy and how the CSCA contributed to your daily work. Rima, we got experience on and how we communicate and implement the strategy, the hardest part of the strategy. So really appreciated your point on that. Isabelle, when it comes to digital transformation, embrace the change, including the framework and models that we love as a finance people and how we implemented this on a daily basis. And big thanks to Mr. Mohamed and Mr. Ahmed and Dr. Mohamed for the partnership of having such a partnership that contributes across all the Middle East for all our audience as we speak now. Please keep partnering together, build some more valuable products that can contribute to the entire community. And I want to make sure that don't get shocked by my style. Sometimes I love to have it very authentic, very real discussion on actual basis rather than the theory. And I think you did very well on that in that case. So at least it adds value to me personally, and then add value to you as a panelist. And of course, if it adds value to me and both and for you, it will add for the entire 70, 80 people or whoever the number that will watch this recording in the future as well. Pleasure having you, and I'm sure it's not the last. And I'm looking forward to meet you in person in any other community event that Mr. Ahmed is holding across all the region. And looking forward, and thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you
everyone.
very much, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
very
much.
Bye-bye.